Hey everybody, welcome to Local Leads. My name is Rich. I'm going to be with leads. Whatever you need to do with a lead is probably going to be stored here in Zoho. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, you should have received an email from our support department when you got started with the login information for do is go ahead and open a browser and type in zoho.com, Z-O-H-O.com, and it's going to bring you to the page that we see here. Up here in the right-hand side of the screen, there's going to be a login button, and go ahead and put in your username and password. More than likely, it's going to be your email address that we sent you, so your name at localleads.us and then your password. So go ahead and sign in. It's going to take you to a screen where you're going to be able to choose from different applications that you might have access to. Depending on what you do for us, each person has a couple different programs that we work with. More than likely, being an at-home affiliate, you're going to stay pretty much in the CRM side of things because your job is really geared towards the sales side of stuff. So go ahead and click on CRM. And then up at the top, you can see this bar, feeds, leads, clients, activities, accounts, potential, all this kind of stuff. Majority of this you're really not going to use. Majority of it, you don't need to actually go into them because they're not going to have tools that you're going to need to effectively follow up or sell. So the main screen we're going to stay on is the lead screen. On this very first screen, what we're going to go ahead and look at are different things that we're going to be able to do on this very first screen. And that's going to be, one, we're going to be able to change the views or create views of the type of leads that we're looking for. So if, let's say, you're looking for insurance agents in a certain city, we'll be able to actually create a view right here, and we'll show you that in just a little while on how you can filter the leads that are in the overall CRM and actually get the ones that you really want to actually call. So if you need people in, let's say, Dallas, or if you need somebody in Miami, or you're focusing on a different city, let's say St. Charles, then you'll be able to pull those up and have a list of people to call. Okay, so we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. The other thing that you're going to do mainly on this screen is create new leads. Now, for a lot of times, even though we are calling down this list of leads, we don't have a complete list of every single insurance agent in the entire United States. It's just almost impossible to do. And so a lot of times while we're reaching out to these clients, we'll also jump on to Google Maps or to Yellow Pages and call those people as well, because a lot of them are new. State Farm, Allstate, Nationwide, Farmers, American Family are continually hiring new agents, putting new agents up. So we need to go ahead and add that to our database. So adding a new lead is very, very simple. We're just going to go ahead and click on this Add New Lead button, and then just fill it out. We'll fill out their first name, their last name, their phone number. The industry obviously is going to be insurance agents if that's what you're calling. We do have opportunities for you to market other products down the road that are not towards insurance agents. So that's why we have a long drop down of different industries that we service. But yeah, so we're going to just go ahead and click on insurance agents. We're going to go ahead and fill in as much of this information as we can. Now, not every single person that you talk to is going to have a name, address, phone, email address, a website. If you find them on Google or you find them on Yellow Pages, you'll have access to that stuff. But for a lot of referrals that you might get, you might need to hunt that stuff down. So the thing about it is the more complete data that you put in here, the easier it is for you to use Zoho overall. And the reason I say that is that if you're looking for a list of insurance agents in, let's say, Dallas, let's say we're calling Dallas right now. We've been calling Dallas for the last couple of days, and we've generated out of that maybe 100 new leads that are that were in the Dallas area, but were not in the CRM beforehand. So maybe in Dallas we didn't have a very good list. You went to Google, you started calling those people and adding them to the CRM. If you don't put in here what company they are or what state they're in or what city or zip code they're in, there's no way for you to filter a list to find them down the road. Okay, so the more, because we don't have any information about them, so they're just going to kind of go into this big group of unassigned leads, if you want to call it, just because we won't have enough information to filter them. So we couldn't pull up this person and say, hey, I would like to see all the agents in Dallas, Texas, because this lead might not have that information. So always filling this out the best of your ability is going to not only help you, but it's going to help anybody else when we're tracking metrics or new leads that are coming in, things like that. Okay. The most important things, though, if you are on the phone with somebody, you didn't find them online, maybe you referred them, the most important things to fill out are going to be obviously their name, who they work with. If you can fill out their state, it's only a two character abbreviation, like TX. Grab that. Their email address is very, very important. This is probably, besides their phone number, the most important piece of information that you could gather from somebody, because emails are a way for us to continually market to these leads. So when you put in a new lead into this system and it has a valid email address, we're going to start marketing to that person through email marketing and marketing automation. So we'll do drip emails. We'll also make calls out to them every once in a while for you and leave messages, things like that. Some of the automation that we can do behind the scenes happens right here. So the email address is really the center of that, because email marketing is a huge, huge tool in the follow-up process. And just like the last few videos that you've watched, this is very much a follow-up game. Insurance agents, typically with this type of a product, it's not a one-call close. It's not something you're going to call them and close them right over the phone. Sometimes you do, but a lot of times it's, hey, get back to me on Friday and let's get this started on Monday, because it's more of a program versus something that they just buy and never think about again. Okay, so once you're done filling this out, you can go ahead and click the Save button, and what it's going to do is it's just going to create a new lead. So if we went into any of these leads on here, what we'd be able to do is see all that information that we put in, so the email, the industry, the cell phone, the lead source, where you got them, the lead gen source. This is also another thing that you probably should fill out that's really important for your aspects, is where did you find this person? Was it a cold call? Was it a referral? Was it a press one? Was it an email? What was it? How did you get a hold of that person? And it just kind of helps you track what works and what doesn't. It also helps us track it as well. So once a client or a lead is put in the system, there's a number of things that you can do with it. You can send them an email. So right over here on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a send email button. One quick note on this button is that when you click on send email, it is going to pop open a new screen. For a lot of people, they have pop-up blockers, or it will even show you a little red X up here in the URL bar saying that it was blocked. And it's something that you just need to right-click and allow to happen, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to email. So make sure your pop-up blockers are disabled for this website. So you can go ahead and click email. Up here on the very top, once it loads here, you're going to see email template, a field. And in here, there's a number of different templates that you guys can choose from to go ahead and send your clients. So if you're on the phone and somebody says, well, hey, why don't you shoot me an email with some information? You say, great, what's an email address? You grab it, and you go ahead and jump down here, pick on, hey, stop wasting money on leads. Why don't you buy live transfers? And we have content and template emails for them to start sending out. So these are kind of one-off emails. If you're on the phone with somebody or they request an email address real quick, they will. Once you have them in the system, though, so let's say you were on the phone, you collected their email address, you sent them this first email, what's going to happen is they're going to be added to our drip marketing campaign as well. So they're going to receive an email, 2 to 3 times a week, just kind of poking at them a little bit. Hey, remember us, we do live transfers. So that way when they are ready, in between the times that you're following up with them through phone calls or text messages or even personal emails, we're kind of a little bug in their ear, reminding them that we're out here, so that way they're ready to go, or when they are ready to go, they'll pick up the phone and hopefully give us a call or shoot us an email back. Okay, so the other thing you can do on this screen here is add a new event or add a task. And both those are really, to me, really the same thing, because really a new task is going to be me scheduling something at like a follow-up. Hey, on the 15th of next month, go ahead and follow up with Sean here, or give him a call on next Wednesday. And having this available to you really helps you stay organized, because as you're going through and calling several hundred people a day, we tend to forget who we talk to and who we need to follow up with if we don't use the tools available to us and either write it down or schedule something. And I'm just as guilty of it as anybody else when I'm on the phone, is forgetting who I need to follow up with. I'm very old school. I very much like the message books and yellow paper. But as we go forward, I've been getting myself used to using a Zoho type CRM, because it does allow you to remember all those people that you needed to follow up with. And sometimes it's, hey, you need to follow with them in 2 days. You just forget they're ready to buy. You didn't write it down because you were off on another call, and this thing would actually save you. So being able to add a new task, all you need to go do is go in here, add a new task, say, hey, follow up with Sean. We can set a reminder if we want to, an email to alert us, whenever the date and time is of the follow-up, and then you just click set it and done, and you're ready to go. So it's really, really super simple. Now the last part of Zoho CRM that I want to show you is how to create different views, because this is going to be a really big tool for you. On the views drop down, as we go back to the leads tab, sorry I jumped ahead a little bit, we went back to the main leads tab, and we're going to talk about views real quick. So on this tab, you can see that there's a lot of different views, and we can create unlimited views for us to filter our leads by. So you can go by insurance agents, you could go by the ones that you did personally, that you created, you could look at this week's leads, you could look at last week's leads, you could look at the leads that you put in here but you haven't done anything with. So there's lots of different ways to do that. And really all we need to do is go into create view. And this is where you get to not only choose what you see, so if you want to see the columns of their first name, last name, company, and email address, I always say you probably need the phone number on there as well, so you can add that field. There's a lot of different other fields also, the last modified time. So if you want to see the leads that you went into and modified in the last week, you could go ahead and do that. You could filter it. I always filter it by industry also, so that way you're only seeing just insurance agents. There are other types of leads in here for different types of marketing programs that we have. So for you, you're always going to want to filter it based on the industry of insurance agents. So then you're going to come down here and you can specify criteria, and this is how you start filtering some of these things. So let's say we want to filter it by the industry. So the very first thing I would filter all of these by is going to be the industry. You're going to say, I would like the industry to contain, and then just scroll down to insurance agents. So that way, all of the leads that you're going to see are only insurance agents. Then we could add another stipulation. Let's say we want to see insurance agents and we want to see them in a certain state. So let's say, we want to see them in, let's see, where's state? So we'll go to state, and it contains TX, right? So we can say we want to see all of the insurance agents in Texas. We click save. Whoops, view cannot be empty, so we name our view Texas Insurance Agents. And we'll hit save. And it'll come up with Texas Insurance Agents, so Corey Woodall. So you can see we don't have a ton of them in Texas that we would need to look for, but it's a good example on how to create a view. And you can do that with all of them. You could go back into here, create a view, and add not only Texas, but you could add Texas and Louisiana, or you could add a string of zip codes, you could add a city, however you'd want to go ahead and define who you're going to want to see to call. So Other than that, really, this is where you're going to, like I said, you're going to spend most of your time is right here on Zoho CRM. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to email us at affiliates@localleads.us, or you can just jump on one of the conference calls in the morning and ask your